What's going on, guys? It's Dan here, and welcome to a very special video in regards to WWE 2K. But before we get into that, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about my favorite WWE superstar of all time, now that we're talking about WWE. I'm sure I've mentioned this many times. I'm sure you guys know all about what I'm talking about here. But The Rock, he's been like my favorite superstar since childhood. And something I want to check out, and I want to let you guys know of, is he actually is starting a new TV show called The Wake Up Call. Basically what it is a motivational show where Rock will pull these people down in the dumps who are in like bad time, dark days of their lives, whatever the case would be. Whether you be struggling from weight loss, you're having trouble with your business, you're in a dysfunctional home, you're a runaway teen. Any sort of crazy chaos that we have in today's world, the crazy problems that we have, Rock uses his own personal experiences where he was broke. He had almost no money to his name, and he pulled himself up using hard work, determination, and that's what he tries to show these people on this show, Wake Up Call. So that's sounds like something that you're interested in if you want to see the best superstar of all time, well, at least in my opinion. Take a more serious approach and help these people out. The show does air on December 12th, 9/8 Central. You can check out more behind-the-scenes footage, bonus clips, and more by clicking the annotation here, or you can click on the link in the description as well. So if that's something you want to check out, I'm definitely going to take a look at it. I think it could be something really cool. Like, it's good to see that Rock is giving back to the community. He's a great person, and it's good to see one of your favorite superstars go above and beyond and really live up to that reputation that you hold them so high. So that's something I'm going to be checking out, so I hope you guys do as well. So anyways, allow us to continue with the main meat and bones of this video. WWE 2K's My Career Mode. They brought it in as for the next gen consoles, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, for WWE 2K15. And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. They had not brought a My Career or a game. I think this is the first time in years. I mean, I don't even think they've had an actual career like this in a long time. Now, I remember I played a lot of WWE games in the past, like all the way back to like PlayStation 1, N64, like the works, and all the way up from then till now, we've come a long way. However, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of games kind of felt more cash grabby, more in the last few years as of late, like WWE 12, 13, 14, and 15. While 15 was a huge step in the right direction. If you guys played on the previous gen, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 for WWE 15 like I did, just because it had exclusive modes and whatnot, it came out a whole month earlier. Excuse me. Basically, it just felt like a copy and paste game. And they added a new mode that was slightly changed each year. So, unfortunately, I don't know. I just felt like they could have done way better, and they very much dropped the ball, in my opinion. But I loved the SmackDown vs. Raw video games. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have played that. Before 2K took over, hell, before they even dropped the SmackDown vs. Raw title, that first came out in 2012, I think, actually. They had SmackDown vs. Raw 2000, I believe. It started with 2006, I think, and it went all the way up to 2009 or 2010. 2010 or 2011? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I should have done my research on this. But basically, all those games I played. And each game had its own story mode. And that was my favorite. And that's what I'd like to start off for what they could add for next year. That's what I want to see for next year is a new, like, the story mode was good. It's a good start they did with the career mode. But I didn't feel like it was personal enough. There wasn't enough creativity in it. There wasn't enough storylines where they threw your character into the story. Mind you, they kind of did something like that in WWE 12 with the Outsiders storyline where it threw your was it Outsiders? I'm not 100% sure. But it basically threw your created wrestler into a storyline. Stuff like that is what I want to see. This time it was very, do your match, get paid, get your social media followers, and then we'll throw you on to somewhat of a storyline. And their storylines were, let's take one example with, let's see, the Wyatts. And the Wyatts would say, oh, the buzzards are coming, blah, blah, blah. And there wouldn't be a whole lot of cutscene involving the Wyatts talking to your superstar or you trying to, you know, there was some backstage attacks, ramp attacks, so you're coming down the ramp. They had an effect on your tag team partner. If you remember, I fought with R-Truth against them, but for the first half, I was attacked, which this part was cool. They actually made it so because I was assaulted, I was getting destroyed in the ring because my tag team partner was taken out or something happened to him. We don't really know. It started the match off with my character with like half health and half momentum. So it made it more realistic. They used to do things like that in SmackDown vs. Raw games. And I loved the SmackDown vs. Raw games because they had a lot of story. They had a lot of story elements. It was a lot of fun for me to play. And I loved throwing your character into this world and making it seem like it was you. And now that 2K's, introduced their face scan system, things are becoming a little better. I mean, it's still a work in progress with face scan, but they should have implemented a face scan feature in 2K15. It may have been last minute. It's obvious they had two consoles to work with two very different styles, like last gen and current gen. 2K games, 2K15 games were like night and day. Completely different gameplay style, completely different appearance, completely different. Just everything was different. They worked way harder and they made WWE 2K way more serious. And I'm glad they made it more of a simulator. Mind you, it didn't stop you from having fun and just doing crazy things that most superstars wouldn't even do. But regardless, it was fun to see and I had fun with it. But like I said, they're going in the right direction here with my career, but they need to step things up. They got to make a more in-depth storyline, like put in a storyline itself instead of just, oh, here's a bunch of filler matches, and here's somewhat of a storyline that we're going to give you, and when you win, you get a title, or it leads to things. That's the thing, though, about these storylines, they lead to things, so like promotions to a new brand, or a title match, or things like that. But half the time, you don't know what you're going up against. For example, I got called out by Brock Lesnar, and I beat him, and I had no idea it was for the WWE Championship. They don't really share too much with you other than, this is your match, this is who you're facing, and they don't really tell you the rules of the match either. Sometimes it'll say falls count anywhere. Sometimes it'll say singles. Sometimes it won't say anything. And that's the thing that screwed me over last time, was I wouldn't even know I was going in for a title match. You just had to assume by looking at some of the tweets that you mentioned. There's like a social media thing going on. It tells you what's going on, and it says, oh, this is what happened, and someone will tweet you directly, and that's how these storylines start. Most of the time, it's Vicky Guerrero saying, oh, we don't have a match for you this week, take your pick. And basically, your picks are a dark match, which would give you more VC, but less fan base, and the fans on social media are what progress the story. So the more of those you do, the faster the career is going to end, because you're going to get more social media followers, which is going to give you better matches. Sorry about that. And it's going to, I'm just going to shut this up just so it doesn't do that. There we go. It's going to give you better matches and faster, because, oh, more people want to see, because they'll actually bother Vicky Guerrero and be like, we want to see your created superstar in us. We want him to be the #1 contender for this, that he deserves it, blah, 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 after you do so many wins. But the problem is, it's very inconsistent. The problem with their story mode is it's very inconsistent. So when they do have a story mode, let's look at it this way. Like I said, when I had my brief rivalry with Brock Lesnar, I had no idea he had the WWE Championship. And there was a lot of drama, you know what I mean? A lot of tension going up to the match. And I had no idea he had the WWE Championship whatsoever. There was no cutscene to show that he had it. It didn't say anything. It just said, I just had to deal with Paul Heyman tweeting me, telling me, oh, you're not worthy of my client's time, etc. The same old Paul Heyman story. So when the time came and my superstar, and I won, and the superstar is holding the belt above his head, and I'm like, what? That was for the WWE Championship? I had no idea. So it was kind of, they needed more clarity. They need more interaction instead of just, here's your match, here's what you're doing, and that's it. They barely give you anything. But the funny thing about fighting Brock Lesnar was, he was one of those filler matches in prior weeks to this rivalry, and I destroyed him. Like, I don't even think he laid a punch on me. But the thing is about that, when the storyline starts, there's inconsistency, like I was saying. You start off, and Brock, oh, you're not worthy of his time. You're not good enough from what I've seen, blah, 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 blah. Even though you completely dominated him in this other match. It just makes no sense. Another thing that I find annoying is when you are fighting for, when you win the title, you're given 3. They're like, okay, there's no push. You don't have anything. You can choose the match this week. And like I was saying, you can get the dark match, or you can get the tune-up match. And the tune-up match doesn't give you as much VC, but it gives you more followers. Now, when you have the title, every single week, the title has to be on the line. Like, instead of the 2 options, you're given a 3rd option, title defense match. And if you do not take the title defense match, you're like, nah, I don't feel like putting up the title today. They will strip the title from you. And that is so unrealistic. They're going for realism in this game. And it's just so unrealistic when they strip a title from you. Like, at one point, I won the World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. And I think I did 2 or 3 title defenses with it. I think it might have been 2 matches. Then I was given Big E to face as a title defense. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because there was a fight for the #1 contender spot. My character, John Cena, and Daniel Bryan. Why was it that Daniel Bryan or John Cena wasn't given that match? Why was it Big E? Like, I understand weeks happen, but they were the push. I felt like at the time, they deserved the match more than Big E did. So I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to grant Big E the pleasure of this. That's stupid. So I played a different match, found out I didn't read the small print, and the title was stripped from me and given back to Randy Orton, whom I won it from. So that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, the only good thing about losing a title in that game was it progressed your storyline further. So, like, basically, I think there might have been a couple of rigged matches where you weren't meant to win. It just seems that way. I'm not sure. That's my opinion. But I think in order to proceed further, you have to lose a title. You have to win it, then lose it. That way you can get a better title. I'm not sure. Maybe some people can say differently. Maybe some people did it a better way or the harder way, and they got 2 titles at once. So maybe they had both the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship. I don't know. But from what I understood, the only way the story could progress was in that manner. So my career, really cool how it worked out, though. You started off in NXT, and you fought your way out of NXT into Superstars, and then you worked your way out of Superstars to Main Event. Then from Main Event, you went to SmackDown, then finally Raw. But the problem is, once you get to Raw and you win the WWE Championship, they then advance the story 15 years into the future, which is also kind of random because your character looks the same. All the other superstars look the same. The same superstars are in the same game. I understand that you can't remodel them 15 years later, but jumping 15 years to your superstar's retirement, and I thought it was really cool. Like, I mean, I'm being retired and being loved by all these people, like, given great matches. Like, you still got Jerry, and you still have Michael Cole. Both haven't aged a bit in 15 years, because Jerry's already in his 60s, and he would be like 70-something. He wouldn't be doing this anymore, I don't think. He'd probably be retired. So, it just doesn't, a lot of the things don't make sense. Like, that's the problem. It seemed like they have a good start. They got their foot in the door. I think next year, 2K16 is going to be a hell of a lot better, and I hope I see these things in 2K16, mainly starting with a more structural, more unique storyline, where it doesn't just say, this is your match, oh, boom, someone's attacking you, with little to no backstory or any information. I want to see more cutscenes, maybe a love interest or a tag team phase of your career. There was none of that. There's no tag team phase, you know what I mean? That's what they just need to make the game bigger. That's the thing. And if they do that, like if they do something like SmackDown vs. Raw, like 2007, that was like my favorite SmackDown vs. Raw game. I love the storyline. They covered all that. There were other games like WWE WrestleMania 21. I don't know if you guys played that game. A lot of people hated it, but I thought it had one of the coolest storylines ever because your character started in the ranks. You got attacked backstage. You had to restart because you had a huge injury, you know, fighting back up. You won tag team champions and everything. You were given every single title opportunity until you worked your way up to the big dogs where you're like headlining WrestleMania, etc., etc. And these games were so good in the past, and now they just seem kind of restricted. And the problem is with the career mode, there wasn't enough adversity. Whenever Vicky would line me up for a storyline where she'd be like, I'm gonna test you, I'm gonna make an example out of you, and there'd be a brief backstage cutscene just showing that your character wouldn't say a word, but if your character spoke as well, that'd be a lot better. But she's like, I'm gonna make an example out of you, and you're gonna be I want you to do no holds barred matches, and you have to win all of them. And she'd give me like 3 or 4 no holds barred matches that I'd have to win in order to succeed and progress. And I'd be like kid in a candy store, man. Like that is the kind of stuff I want to see instead of all this same singles matches. And again, as well, like say you were in Extreme Rules, a pay-per-view. The pay-per-views were just that, pay-per-views. They weren't specific pay-per-views. So if I was at the Royal Rumble, I wouldn't be in the Royal Rumble match. If I was at Extreme Rules, it wouldn't be an Extreme Rules match. It would be disqualification, would be on, etc. And it'd be a lot cooler if, you know, you were given these authentic matches. So there needs to be more attention to detail, more cutscenes, more story, longer career. It took me about 10 hours to complete, but compared to the other WWE games I played, it's not that long, you know. And like even if they do keep it the same length, don't do filler matches. Filler matches are annoying. But if I understand you got to work your way up, but being a champion, there's no one gunning for you. You just got to title defense randoms every week for the rest of your life pretty much. It just seems kind of dumb because in the WWE, they don't do that. They don't put the title up every single week and then they strip it from you if you say no. Like that doesn't happen. So inconsistencies, unrealistic, features of the game need to be improved. But they're definitely going the right way. Definitely. And I had a lot of fun playing it. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching it. I know a lot of people showed this series a lot of love, so I'm happy you guys enjoyed it. But I just hope that next year it will be given not just a career, but like a story mode. A lot like 2K is doing with the NBA series. Like, get a character that talks, make your own decisions, do interviews, you know what I mean? Like where they have backstage interviews like they used to do in the Attitude Era mode. You know what would be cool? This is an idea. I'm just throwing it out there. If they had a story mode that was in the Attitude Era, all the Attitude Era wrestlers with all that classic stuff. Oh, that'd be great. Can you imagine? Oh, I'd have so much fun playing that. We just need a more story-focused, character-driven career mode because really it was just a random nobody facing a bunch of random people at any given time for titles. And it could have been better. It could have been so much better, but that's my opinion on it. Maybe a little longer as well, like I was saying. Make this game a little bit longer in the career mode. Or diversified. I want to see some backstage brawls, you know? Like where you could actually throw your superstar backstage like you used to be able to. You threw them towards the ramp. He'd go up past the doorway into the hallway. You could throw him into... Well, you could throw him into the bathroom, the shower. You could throw him into, like, the press room. You could throw him... Oh, God. I can't remember what game that was. I think it was WWF No Mercy that you could do that. Oh, my God. So much fun. And you just let us do that. Fight in the crowd, you know. Way more interactive spots. I want to see it. Come on, 2K. Hook us up. We deserve it. All right, guys. That's it for me. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Let me know down below in the comments. What would you want to add to next year's My Career mode? I want to hear your thoughts. Hit me up. Let's see if we can see some of these. I see the potential. It's going to be good. Just, you guys got to let me know down in the comments. Also, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Favorite the video as well. And don't worry, I do have more WWE 2K coming your way. There's plenty of it. I'm not done with it. I'm just talking about the career mode, not the game as a whole, for those of you who didn't get that. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. So, thanks, guys. Take it easy. Have a good one. And I'll see you next time for some more gameplay. Later, guys.